to tell Erika that.
Yeah.
Erika is very shrewd. She's very smart. There's a great story. I can't really tell you who this was, but it was a very important person. And it happened within hours of the news. And the call goes in, she takes it because it was a very important person. And the question was to her, okay, so just as a starting point, like, what do you know? And she was like, I know everything. And I was like, that's amazing.
What started as quiet rumors has now turned into a story the internet can't stop talking about. For years, people ignored the speculation surrounding Erika Kirk and Andrew Colvette, brushing it off as gossip with no real proof. But now, old footage, resurfaced timelines, leaked details, and Andrew's own comments are causing people to look at everything in a completely different way. Because the deeper people dig, the stranger the story gets.
I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was. Somehow getting drinks was the replacement of having coffee and breakfast. I personally would rather have coffee or brunch with someone than going, I don't drink. I find it unproductive, not because I'm holier than whatever. I just don't operate that way. But I always thought it was very strange how she would go to drinks with one guy and then go to dinner with another. So it goes twofold here. So if you're expecting to marry someone that I was blessed with, like a Charlie, you have to be the type of woman that will attract a Charlie. Are you going to church? Are you going to Bible study?
Questions about denied relationships, suspicious timelines, sudden closeness after Charlie's death, and public moments that many viewers say just didn't feel right have all pushed this controversy into overdrive. Online communities are now connecting dots that they believe were hidden in plain sight the entire time. And while none of these claims have been officially proven, the growing number of inconsistencies has people asking one massive question. Was Charlie the only person who never saw what was happening around him? Stay tuned, because this timeline gets far more complicated than most people expected.
I've known Erika since they started dating, since Charlie and Erika started dating. I remember the first time I met Erika, it was actually at Politicon in Los Angeles many years back. And I was like, who is this gal? Like, and Charlie was like, oh, she's hanging out with us today. Charlie, you could tell there was something different though. And I logged it. And Erika has always been tremendous, and she never sought the limelight. She was always very happy to sort of be doing her own thing and just be supportive of Charlie.
For the longest time, people brushed it off as gossip, just another rumor floating around online. But now Andrew Colvette is finally talking, and the whole situation suddenly feels way more serious. The second his name got connected to Erika Kirk in a way nobody could really explain, the conversation changed fast. People stopped wondering if something was happening and started asking how long this had really been going on behind Charlie's back. Some even started questioning whether Charlie ever found out the truth before everything fell apart. And this is where the story starts getting messy. Because according to a lot of people digging into the timeline, this didn't just start after Charlie passed away.
And she's never been anything but just high character, just warm. She was a total asset to Charlie in the sense that, Charlie was so missional. He was so direct. He was so kind of on just, Energizer Bunny, and direct about what he needed to get done. And Erika was this humanizing presence just for the staff, for whether it was donors or politicians or whoever he was meeting with. And she was just so, but content to be in the background and be the mom.
That's the version many were believing at first. Two grieving people getting close during a painful time. But once details from Erika's past started resurfacing, that explanation began to look shaky. Things got even more intense when Andrew Colvette opened up in a deeply personal way while talking about the very first time he met Erika. She had already built a reputation that people started side-eyeing later on. Multiple relationships had been publicly connected to her over the years, only for those connections to later get denied or brushed aside.
You look really handsome.
You look gorgeous. Are you fixing my... I got a little bacon. Babe, that's deep in there. Give them a cleavage? People want cleavage. Showcase it.
Sex sells, babe.
Sex sells. That's me.
That's against our religion.
It's not. It's within the confines of marriage.
Old clips, photos, and reality TV moments painted a completely different picture from the image she tried to present afterward. At one point, she even claimed she had never been in a serious relationship before Charlie. But once old receipts and archived footage started popping back up online, that story quickly started falling apart. And that's the moment when a lot of people started looking at the Andrew situation completely differently. Because if someone was willing to downplay or deny major relationships from the past, then people felt like denying a connection with Andrew wouldn't seem shocking either. That's when attention really shifted toward him. Before Charlie passed away, Andrew wasn't just some random guy standing in the background. He already had a place inside Turning Point USA, close enough to be trusted and involved, even if he stayed low-key and avoided major attention. But after Charlie's death, people noticed something that raised a lot of eyebrows. Staff members, insiders, and even voices that questioned certain decisions slowly started disappearing from the picture. Some were removed quietly, while others just stopped being seen around altogether. Through all of that, Andrew stayed right where he was.
USA did a massive purge of employees a few days ago, or at the end of, I guess, last week, you could say. What did you hear about that purge?
I heard there were 30 to 40 people purged, that they were looking for the leak. They knew there are leaks out of TPUSA. They are terrified of these leaks because of what TPUSA has been up to. And rather than try to be an honest organization, it's just let's get rid of all the people we think might be disclosing that we're a dishonest organization.
Not only did Andrew stay around, but he also started stepping into bigger roles fast. He took over responsibilities, co-hosted shows, and kept appearing right beside Erika in public. That alone had people asking one big question: why him? Because if the organization was supposedly cleaning house and distancing itself from certain people, then why did Andrew remain completely untouched? A lot of observers started wondering if he was never viewed as a threat in the first place, or even more interesting, if he had already been part of the trusted inner circle from the very beginning. And then people started paying closer attention to the way he talked about Erika. It didn't sound like someone simply speaking about a coworker or a grieving widow he was trying to support. The tone felt different, way more personal and familiar. At times, there was even this subtle admiration in the way he described her. He called her sharp, strategic, always informed, like someone who already had everything mapped out ahead of time. And the timing of those comments is what really caught people's attention. He started speaking about Erika in that deeply familiar way only after Charlie was gone, not before. That immediately led people to ask a bigger question. How long had he actually known her on that level? Then people began re-watching their public appearances together after Charlie's death, and many felt the vibe seemed unusual. There were moments of smiling, laughing, and relaxed chemistry that some viewers thought didn't fully match the weight of the situation.
To tell Erika that.
Yeah.
Erika is very shrewd. She's very smart. It was a great story. I can't really tell you who this was, but it was a very important person. And it happened within hours of the news. And the call goes in, she takes it because it was a very important person. And the question was to her, okay, so just as a starting point, like, what do you know? And she was like, I know everything. And I was like, that's amazing.
The body language looked less like two people struggling through fresh grief and more like two people who already had a strong level of comfort around each other. Once those clips started spreading online, people became obsessed with breaking down the timeline piece by piece. And that's where things started getting really uncomfortable for a lot of observers. Because on the day Charlie was killed, both Andrew and Erika reportedly shared timelines of events that some people later claimed didn't fully match publicly discussed records. Flight information, police scanner chatter, and reported movement logs all started fueling even more questions online. According to several people following the case closely, it began looking like Andrew may have known more about the situation earlier than many originally believed. According to people closely following the timeline, Andrew was already on the move before the situation had fully unfolded publicly. Reports tied to flight activity showed travel headed toward Scottsdale earlier than many expected, which immediately sparked more speculation online. At the same time, people also started questioning Erika's reported location and the timeline connected to her movements, saying parts of it didn't fully match the public version that had been shared. And once those details started getting compared side by side, the internet ran with one major question. Had the two of them already been in contact before everything happened? Because if that were true, then the entire narrative shifts away from two people bonding only after a tragedy.
What are 3 things that you would say that you look for in someone that you're dating?
I really don't look for anything because I've already found what I'm looking for. Well, I have an amazing girlfriend. She's spectacular.
Is she in politics?
Not really, no.
What can you tell us about her?
She's
What would
beautiful.
you be willing?
She's reverent.
She's a reverend? I didn't know this about her.
She's reverent.
Oh. I was like, wait, this is new. I don't know if we'll want to keep that or not.
Oh, you better keep it. You better keep it.
Okay, she's reverent. So what's an example? What do you mean?
She's prayerful. She believes in God.
Instead, it would suggest a connection that may have already existed beforehand. Then came the moment people still bring up constantly, the tarmac embrace. At first, it was viewed by many as a heartbreaking scene of grief and support. But after online investigators started breaking down the reported timing, travel details, and sequence of events, some claimed the story no longer fit together neatly. The pickup timing, flight arrival, and reported movements all became heavily debated online, leading some people to question whether that moment was as spontaneous as it first appeared. And then another layer got added to the controversy. During discussions about Erika's whereabouts that day, Andrew reportedly pointed to a photo in an effort to support her timeline and show she was home with her children. But critics quickly argued the image didn't clearly confirm the date, didn't actually show Erika herself, and failed to fully verify anything people were questioning. And the way that photo was reportedly handled only made people even more suspicious. Instead of being openly verified or clearly confirmed by others, critics claimed it was presented privately, which immediately caused more backlash once details about it leaked online. A lot of people argued that if someone is trying to clear up serious questions, the evidence usually needs to be solid, transparent, and easy to confirm. Once that explanation started getting challenged, the conversation shifted again, moving away from simple coincidence and toward claims of possible coordination. Now bring Charlie back into the picture, because through all of this, one detail keeps standing out to many observers. He genuinely didn't seem aware of what people later started questioning. The way he spoke about Erika made it sound like he fully believed the image she presented publicly. Disciplined, loyal, focused, and free from any complicated past or hidden history.
She's a great person. She believes in other people. She always thinks of other people before herself. She's very fun, and honestly, I'm so blessed to be able to have her in my life.
That is so sweet of you to say. I will say this, Charlie's girlfriend is totally gorgeous. She's so gorgeous.
I'm way over promoted.
Would you like to introduce yourself, or should I introduce you? All right, we'll try it again. Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of The Charlie Kirk Show. Joining me is the most special guest.
But according to the information and old material resurfacing online, that image no longer matched what many people believed they were uncovering. People online had actually been expressing concern for Charlie long before all these newer discussions exploded. One user wrote, "Charlie is so innocent. He fell in love with Erika, but something is really off about her. I couldn't point it out now." Another person commented, "Charlie seems like such a naive man." Those kinds of posts started resurfacing again once more. Details and old clips began circulating online. And once people started comparing everything side by side, the questions only got louder. If the public image didn't fully line up with what was later uncovered, then many began wondering whether Charlie was the only person who never noticed the cracks in the story. Online discussions kept connecting the same points over and over: the relationships from the past that were later denied, the sudden closeness with Andrew, the behavior people analyzed after Charlie's death, the timeline inconsistencies being debated online, and the fact that Andrew remained close while others quietly disappeared from the picture. None of these details prove anything by themselves, but when people started putting everything together, many felt it painted a completely different picture from the one originally presented. Online discussions kept growing, with more users openly questioning Erika's public image. One person wrote, "Everything about her is inauthentic and fake." Another commented, "Old girl lied to poor Charlie, swearing she was just a sweet, innocent, inexperienced, good Christian woman." And another user didn't hold back at all, simply saying, "She's disgusting." As more clips, posts, and timeline breakdowns kept spreading online, the speculation only intensified. And now that Andrew is reportedly speaking more openly, even if only in pieces or indirect comments, some people believe the situation may be getting harder to keep quiet. To many online observers, it no longer feels like random gossip fading away. Instead, they see it as a story that keeps resurfacing no matter how much people try to move past it. And through all of it, one question still hangs over the entire situation. If Charlie never fully knew what was happening around him, then who was making sure he stayed in the dark? At this point, the internet has gone far beyond simple rumors. People are now looking at the timelines, the resurfaced footage, the public statements, and the behavior after Charlie's death, all as pieces of a much bigger puzzle. The denied relationships, the growing connection with Andrew, the questions surrounding travel timelines, and the way certain stories reportedly changed over time have only added more fuel to the online discussions. Still, it's important to remember that much of this remains speculation driven by public reactions, online theories, and interpretations of available information. But one thing is clear: a lot of people no longer believe the original narrative exactly as it was presented. And with Andrew now speaking more openly, many think even more details could eventually come to light. What do you think is really going on here? Was this all just a misunderstanding amplified by the internet, or are people uncovering something much deeper? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this conversation is definitely not slowing down anytime soon. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with others following the story. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any future updates and breakdowns.